Hello guys, it is Calissa and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be telling you all the things I learned in my freshman year of college, as well as little tips and tricks that I wish I would have known before I started, but I'm here to pass what I have learned on to you. But before we get into the video, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and you can follow me here on my Instagram. I'm trying to post every Tuesday. And if you guys have any questions about some of the topics I go over in this video, feel free to leave a comment and I will respond and try and answer it in the best way that I can. But anyway, that's a long enough intro. Let's get into the video. Okay, so if you see me look down, it's because I have a big list of notes that I made about this specific topic. Anyway, okay, I have two major things that I think everyone should go in with the first day is a planner, and if you have one or if you can afford it, a laptop. I was always fairly organized in high school. As soon as I went to college, I found that there was so much to keep track of and so many different due dates, and I mean, you're handed your syllabus, that's everything for the next semester. So it's really helpful to put it down in a planner. When you look at it daily, then you know everything that's coming up, because that's one of the major differences between high school and college is your teachers do not remind you of when you have upcoming assignments or tests or a paper due. I found a planner extremely helpful personally because I can't really keep track of everything in my head. So number two is a laptop. I don't have mine up here with me, but I had just a little good old Chromebook. And I used it every single day. Nobody really takes paper notes in class because it takes too long while your teachers are giving lectures. You know, it's really fast paced, so typing is a lot faster. And then it's a lot easier to keep everything in one space. Like I just make a Google Doc and I name it that class. And then I type out all my notes for the semester. So then when I'm going to study or I'm writing a paper about something, then I have it all in one place. With a notebook, you have 5 different notebooks and they're scattered throughout the house or, in your car or blah, 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 whatever. When I would write it on a Google Doc, I knew where it was every single time. So I would really recommend trying to invest in a laptop. It doesn't have to be something super expensive. I think my Chromebook was $180 on sale. I think we got it on Black Friday. It's doing great, but currently I have found that I need something that has a little more to it. So I'm saving up for a MacBook right now, but that's another story for another day. Okay, you do not need to buy your books unless you need to keep them. I use this website called Chegg. This is not sponsored in any way, but they should because I really like their website. Most schools have a bookstore that you go in and you rent your books and then you return them at the end of the semester. But what I found is my bookstore upcharged everything compared to Chegg, where it's most books are $30 to $40 to rent for an entire semester. Chegg has very reasonable pricing. They sent me a Red Bull with my first purchase, and all the dates work out perfectly from when I get them to when they need to go back. I'm actually sending my books back for the semester out tomorrow. So my university specifically, I don't know if this applies to many other universities, but we have an option to join something called a learning community for your first semester of college. So a learning community, we call them LCs. You can pick a specific topic of something you're interested in, and then you'll take 4 classes related to that topic. And in these 4 classes, you'll have the same 10 to 12 people in them. So I chose a health and wellness because I am a psychology major and it's something that interests me, so I thought it would be beneficial. And I think that was the best decision I could have made because I actually made friends. In high school, I didn't really have many friends. I wasn't very sociable. And so in college, I was kind of worried about feeling left out and not really knowing anyone. So when I met these people in my learning community, we all actually became pretty close friends, and we picked classes to take together for our second semester. We got to do fun little group outings. We went kayaking, we went rock climbing, we ate together. It was just a really great group of people, and I had nothing but a positive experience in it. And I'm a commuter, so I don't live on campus. We have the option to drive, and it's about a 25-minute drive for me because I didn't want to pay to live on campus, and I'm so close. Theoretically that I could save an extra $10,000 a year to continue to live in my parents' house because they're allowing me to. But since I was a commuter, I felt like I was going to be left out of a lot of things, especially like dorm life or parties or, you know, like getting to know people in my classes, because I drive there, I go to my classes, and then I go home. Like, I don't really stay on campus and hang out with people. So if you're a commuter like me, and your university or school has something similar to a learning community, I would definitely recommend joining one. So some tips that I learned is being kind to your teachers goes a really long way. Like, always showing up to your classes, not just skipping, not being on your phone, paying attention, reading the chapter beforehand, being on time goes a really long way with your teachers, especially if there's an assignment and you forget to do it. It happened to me this semester. I forgot a pretty big paper that was due in one of my classes, and I emailed my teacher and I was like, I'm sorry, I was just so busy, I forgot about it. She's like, oh, that's totally okay. I'm not gonna take off any points. Thank you for turning it in, and, you know, thank you for being a good student. So you get rewarded for, you know, putting in the effort into your classes, actually showing up and being like a kind person. On-campus jobs are definitely a great idea if your school has on-campus jobs. I personally do not work on campus. However, I do have friends that work on campus, and through there, you have super flexible work hours to go around your school schedule. And then you can also make friends through there, because there are other students just like you. We're all trying to get by, trying to make money. We live in a very expensive world. So definitely a great idea if you can join. I'm sorry if you can hear my dog barking in the background. She will not stop barking. Now let's talk about credits. So I would say I'm a pretty ambitious person. My first semester I took 16 credits, and to be considered full-time at my school is 13 credits. Coco! To be considered a full-time student, it is 13 credits at my school, so I took 16, but the thing was I was taking freshman seminar classes and these learning community classes that I was talking about, really easy stuff. And after I did that, I was like, oh, that was super easy. I really didn't have any homework. I took intro to psych, and I took biology, I took photography, and then I can't remember what other classes I took, but my course load was fairly easy. So this semester I was like, well, my school has flat rate tuition, so whether you're taking 13 credits or whether you're taking 18 credits, it is the same price. So I was like, okay, I might as well take 18 credits to get the most out of how long I'm there, and I'm paying for it essentially. So I took 18 credits. That was the biggest mistake that I made my freshman year. I had a job, and I was working at least over 20 hours a week, and I was taking 18 credit hours. I had no time to do anything but homework, constantly on my computer doing homework or studying for a test or writing a paper, this and that, and it drove me insane. I'm someone who likes to be very active. I like to go outside, I like to do things. I don't like to sit inside and be on my computer all day, and that's how it was. And another thing, it actually made my GPA lower, because it's not that I was struggling, but I wasn't putting as much effort into every single class as I should have been, because I was taking so many credits. So my GPA dropped a little bit. So it's something to consider when you're deciding how many credits is a good amount for you. They usually warn freshmen to never really take more than 15, I think, which I agree with that statement after living through it, and I was like, well, they're just saying that because they don't want me to get the most out of my money, blah blah blah. No, it's accurate, it's true. So I am not going to be taking 18 credits again. I am taking 16 credits next fall, because 18 was just way too much. So unless you don't have a job and you're like down to just sit and study and do work all day every day, go for it, but proceed with caution when deciding how many credits you're going to take. Okay, next I wanted to talk about FAFSA. I believe I'm saying it right. It's FASFA. It is the Federal Student Financial Aid, something or another like that. So through there, you'll find out if you will get any government assistance with paying for school, and if you qualify for government loans. I believe you can apply for it in October, and I definitely recommend doing so early, because it doesn't hurt to find out if you will be receiving any financial aid, because it could sway your decision on which college you're going to end up going to. Another tip is, don't believe like the sticker price on what your college tuition is not what you're going to end up paying. So my school tuition is $28,000. It's a lot of money, right? And then to live on campus, it's another $8,000 for room, and then I think it's $2,000 for food. You're looking at another 10 grand. So now, not the sticker price, and you really have to look at that stuff. Also, you'll have to pay for things like parking and your ID and your book. If you're a commuter like me, I took into consideration on how much I was going to be spending in gas every week, driving to and from school every single day. But it's just something you just really have to sit down and think about it. My parents were very helpful in that aspect of thinking of all the expenses that I was going to have, and so I was prepared mentally, and I was preparing my bank account for it as well. Okay, and now we're on to the last few things I wanted to touch on. College is not for everyone. Do not feel pressured to go to college. My boyfriend Alan went to college because he thought that's what he was supposed to do. All of his friends were going, and he said he felt, pressure from his peers and his teachers, because your teachers always say, where are you going to college? Not, are you going to college? So he said he definitely felt a lot of pressure and didn't really know his options outside of not going to college after high school. He eventually dropped out after his first year, and now he's in a trade, which he really enjoys. And he spent a lot of money to go to that school, moved away. He was 3.5 hours away, but he learned a lot about himself in that time and what he values in life and what he wanted. What he thought he wanted wasn't actually what he wanted. So really think about it. If you're not sure, don't sign up to go to some place that's super expensive or super far away. Go to a community college and get a feel for it, and then if that's something you really want to do, then go on to a university after you've figured it out, because it is a huge financial decision to decide to go to a university. Lastly, I wanted to touch on sororities and fraternities. I am not in a sorority. However, Alan was in a fraternity when he was at school, and he said he had a positive experience. It wasn't negative at all. He says it's not for everyone, it costs money, and it's a lot of commitment. There's a bunch of different things that you are committed to and you have to sign up for, and then you have to volunteer, and this and that and this and that. He said it's great for people who are really sociable and like that type of interaction, but he felt that he had to join a fraternity because he was in college, and that's what guys do, is they join fraternities. All right, guys, that's all I've got. My last little spout of wisdom is to think for yourself and use your best judgment on deciding when or if you're going to go to college or if you're not going to go to college. You shouldn't feel pressured by your friends, family, or your teachers or anything like that to go to college. I made a lot of pros and cons lists of where I was going. I knew I was going to college because I want to eventually be a psychologist, and you cannot get that without going to college, so I knew that's where I was going to end up, was at school. But it's really, I made a lot of lists, did a lot of research into each and every school. You just have to find out what's best for you. If you guys have any questions or you just need someone to talk to, let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I think everyone's starting to finish up with school right now, so that's super exciting because we're going this summer. Let me know if you guys have any video requests that you want me to film. Feel free to reach out and ask a question. If you have any, I will try to answer to the best of my ability. I just thought my perspective could be a little interesting because I watched a handful of these videos before I went to school, and nobody was a commuter, everyone lived on campus. I don't know if that is a big deal to everyone, but it was a big deal to me because it was a lot of money involved with that decision to stay at home and go to school or leave. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.